Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your time of day that you're watching. Welcome to Meenakshi Tarot. This is a reading for Capricorn. This is for the second week of August, Capricorn. So I'd like to start off by saying thank you to all those who have subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate that. And thank you to those who are watching. So this is just a general reading, Capricorn. So this is a reading for your sun, your moon, your Venus, and your rising. And if this is not resonating with you, please look at your other signs. For those of you that are cross-watching, welcome. Okay, interesting cards popped up here. Very interesting cards, a Capricorn, going through some changes. And let's see, what does the tarot have to say for you? Okay, so we see that you're going towards a time of change where most probably a lot of you would have to change the way that you are viewing things. There are lessons that you have learned from the past that you need to bring into your future. You need to have direction and focus. You need to most probably also look in terms of your purpose. Some of you could very well be having to juggle a few things. And right now, you need to just focus yourself on not on a multitude of tasks. Try not to overwhelm yourself, Capricorn, but rather to be very focused with what you're doing. Maybe just try and manage two things at a time. See what is happening in your life, because we could see that many of you could be in a situation where you're struggling to hold on to things. You're struggling to gain any knowledge and understanding of why things are going the way that they are going. But sometimes it's letting go is actually allowing you the kind of freedom that you need to be able to move forward in life. So it's important that you try to move beyond where you're at right now, and it's important that you recognize your fears and where they're coming from and leave them there. You need to bring in some balance. You've got your energy here, Scorpio energy, sorry, not your energy, it's the death card, Scorpio energy. You got Temperance energy. So you could have these people in your life, a Sagittarius person, you could have a Scorpio person, Capricorn, that is in your space. Some of you could be dealing with new situations, new relationships, waiting for love messages, but things seems to be taking their own sweet time coming towards you, Capricorn. Things are not flowing as quickly and as easily as you would like it to be. There seems to be some misunderstandings for some of you. Some of you may not be getting the answers that you are seeking. Some of you might be having to wait for a delay in things. And others might very well be finding yourself feeling very emotional at the moment. It's also very important that, you could be dealing with something from the past that is making you feel very emotional and making you feel very young at heart. There's a difference between something that gives you that, that gives you that vibe of feeling youthful again and bringing back that, I think the French say joie de vivre. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I've heard it often expressed. And this is where some of you could be feeling that you need to have that in your space. However, there is a lot of situations where there's been a lot of deception when it came to love, when it came to relationships, when it came to people making promises and having your wishes granted and, hopes fulfillment. There has been a lot of disappointment, and we see that some of you are struggling right now to trust, to believe, to bring in that trust towards any situation. You could be holding on to yourself because of all of the disappointments that some of you may have faced in the past and not so distant past, recent past. And you just need to understand that there are things that happen in life that you just need to learn to flow with. You need to let go of that which doesn't serve you. You need to let go of things that are not working out for you. You need to move towards the future. And by moving towards the future, you really need to get to the core of who you are as a person. Getting rid of attitudes, the way of thinking, outdated perceptions of life. You need to just get rid of that. You could be dealing with people or somebody who's got an overblown sense of importance. Be mindful of that. Somebody who could be very draining on you financially. somebody who can rush in with a lot of false promises, a lot of drama, a lot of giving you the appearance of wanting to be so much more. But these are things that you need to take account of. Are you placing your trust in people, the same kind of person, the same kind of situations? And maybe this is why some of you want to feel this young, invigorating, this young essence of love and enthusiasm. But because you keep attracting the same kind of person towards you, you could be feeling a sense of disappointment, a sense of you could be feeling a little bit undermined. And it's important, therefore, to start to look at your truths, look at your situations, look at who is it that you are inviting into your life. What is the message that they're bringing towards you? Is this the same song just with a different tune? Really, it's like you can recognize the lyrics, or you can recognize the tune and say, I know this dance that you want to put me through, and I'm not going to do this anymore. So Capricorn, you do need to have this awareness of self, that you don't need to be caught up with all of this drama again. And that being said, you've got this Tower card that came up. So you're having this Tower moment. And like I've always said, the Tower moment is such a great card to have, because it really shakes things up for you. It takes you out of that situation of being caught up and being stuck, and it gives you the shake up that you need. You could have just been floating along and just accepting things as they are, and not realizing that you do need to shake things up and to make some changes. Some of you could have invested a lot of time and effort in things that are not bearing fruit. Some of you could find yourself in a situation that you're having to deal with a lot of gossip. People are just not being very kind towards you. They're not being very honest towards you. There's a lot of dishonesty. So you are seeing this. You're seeing that this is coming through, where it's so some of you might just be feeling like there's been a waste of time. Some of you are really having a contradiction in a love situation, where you are feeling as though you've made this mistake. You feel as though you've gone down this path with somebody and it's just not working out. You could be feeling very left out in a love situation. You could be feeling very disconnected in a love situation. We see that, there's turmoil when it comes to your love situation. Some of you could be going through something that is just feeling very difficult right now. It's as though you could be talking right now about breakups. You could be talking about betrayals. There could be situations like that that's happening. Some of you could also just be dealing with somebody who is not very clear and kind, somebody who could be having tantrums and behaving quite childishly within this relationship, and that's actually causing you a lot of stress and a lot of trauma. Is somebody not taking their part in the relationship responsibly? Somebody could also you could also be dealing with children in a relationship, and there's a lot of neediness and emotional contention within your situation. Some of you needing to be having to deal with this, having to deal with the choices that you've made. And we see that there is this unfortunate strife that is coming towards you. There's this unfortunate, on one level things are supposed to be fine, but it had been bothering you. It's not like you are surprised by what is coming out, what is the deeper underlying issues here. You are not surprised by this, Capricorn. You knew that this was coming. You knew that there was issues. You knew that there was this disharmony, this chaos. You knew that it was coming. Some of you could very well be dealing with a female person, or somebody of a female energy, or this could very well be yourselves, Capricorn. If you have water in your chart, that is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, you could have this in your chart, or you could very well be dealing with the Scorpio person, like I said, and it could be becoming a very toxic situation. It could be, you're dealing with somebody who just wants all the attention and not prepared to put in the work when it comes to your relationship. You could be dealing with a situation like that, and it could be very draining for some of you. It could be very difficult. Some of you might have thought that this was a second chance, that you were having a situation where you could have a second chance and things could work out again. But there's a lot of disappointment for many of you, a lot of disappointment with people that are not keeping their word, a lot of disappointment where promises are not being kept, and that's leaving many of you feeling very down and out, very disappointed with life, feeling as though you're not sure what is it that you're doing, why are you in the situation, why do you have to deal with this? And very often in life we want to run away from the consequences of our choices. It happens too often where um, some of you just need to realize that you have put yourself in certain situations, and some of these situations can feel very unexpected right now. Some of it could be very unwanted as well. It's like you're really not in a happy place. Some of you could be feeling very guilty about how you've handled situations in the past, and now living with the consequences of these situations has not been very easy for some of you. So there's a lot of regret. We see there's a lot. This is specifically to those of you. This is feeling very specific to certain people who have made a mistake. They feel like they made a mistake in their life journey. They feel like they made a very serious mistake that has actually affected a lot of their choices going forward. Capricorn, it's I'm feeling that I have to choose my words wisely here, because no experience is a mistake. I feel that every experience, whether it's a negative or positive experience, it's how we perceive it and what we take out of that. That being said, don't think that I've not had negative experiences happen to me, but it's also the way a person approaches it. And I've learned over the years that our approach and our attitude does determine the outcome. You've got the Nine of Cups that is saying to me that even though you're going through this tower moment, you have got so much to celebrate. You have got options, you've got choices, and there's so much to celebrate, because by finding out the truth about your situations and what it is that has been bothering you, what it is that you have been going through, you are setting yourself free. We need to acknowledge, acknowledge a situation. You have the Four of Wands telling you to celebrate, enjoy life. You've got the Two of Pentacles upright, telling you to create this balance and this harmony in your situations. Very often one doesn't realize this, but if you can take a moment to see where you got the Tower twice, you got the Three of Swords. Something has happened that has caused you a lot of grief. A relationship has caused you a lot of grief, and you feel like screaming. And some of you could very well be screaming silently because nobody knows what you're going through. But once again, like I said, this is this Tower moment of clarity for you. Out of this chaos, you can get the direction that you need. Maybe this chaos is what you needed to bring you to a better path. You've got Virgo energy here, Hermit. Maybe you need to think a little more clearly. Five of Swords, Queen of Swords. Some of you could be having the Queen of Swords energy. You could be having this air energy in your chart, and it's Libra, Aquarius, Gemini energy. So looking at this, you got this Virgo energy, you've got this Sagittarius energy, you've got the Scorpio energy, and you've got these two Tower cards. It's telling me you're going through these Tower moments in your life. You have got a lot to be thankful for. You've put in a lot of hard work. You've got a lot to embrace, Capricorn. There's a lot of good that has happened, and you've burned the midnight oil, and you can see the benefits of a lot of the things in your life. But there seems to be a certain aspect in certain people's lives where there is the chaos. We could be with a relationship. It could be that, the relationship is a toxic situation. Some of you could be in a situation that is toxic, or could be caught up in a situationship that has been very toxic, that has put you in this Three of Swords energy where there's so much of grief to contend with. Instead of giving yourself despair, giving into despair and feeling trapped and caught up in your head, step back from your situations. Take a moment to reflect on the future. Take this Queen of Swords stance and look towards the future. Have a vision for yourself. If you need to take some time out, take some time out with this Hermit energy. Meditate, reflect, find yourself, find your path, and move towards that. It's important that you do that for yourself, Capricorn. There's a lot of opportunities out there for you. And if you can take a step back and maybe try and reconcile the problem or the difference or the error that you think you made, that you feel you need to fix in order to move on, then fix it. If you can fix it, fix it. This calls upon you to fix, because you can't carry on. It's more than half the year. We're already in August. Capricorn. Some of you have been carrying on with this drama for a while now. We see what fell out was the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. Never know how to pronounce that name. So some of you could be feeling very blocked with your life. You got envy in reverse. 3rd chakra, Archangel Shamu, rest and rejuvenation and action. So there's a bit of stagnation. And you've got this envy card in reverse. It's a very nice card, but it's also pointing out to, sometimes we just need to take stock of ourselves and our situations and what is going on in our path. And it's important that you need to take some time out to see what is going on. You really need to release whatever feelings of negativity or envy that's holding you back. Acknowledging situations within yourself, acknowledging truths within yourself. Also realizing that, thinking that everybody else is having it much easier than you is not the right way to also think, because that's just causing you to be blocked up. That's just causing you to feel ineffectual in your own right. And that's not what you want to create for yourself. You want to create this responsibility of self. You want to grab hold of your life and take control of your situation, take control of what is happening. Instead of running away from what is happening, you need to embrace your life, embrace your here and your now. It's important, Capricorn, that you do that. Embrace where you are at. You've got the chakra, Shamuel. He's all about your emotions, your desires, your life force energy. This is your solar plexus energy. This is a very important, it's about your emotional issues that needs to be resolved. It's your personal energy. It's really, you need to be very enthusiastic about yourself and your life and going forward. And we saw that here with this tower moment. You see this here with this tower moment. You need to go through this tower moment to be able to embrace the joy that is yours, So look at that. Look at creating this for yourself. Look at taking some time to move forward to be able to achieve what it is that you have set out to achieve instead of holding yourself back. Some of you may need to take a moment to pause, to take time to rest, to rejuvenate your spirit. Maybe look at meditative practices. Bring in that inner calm so that you can look towards the future, because that is very, very important. Some of you could be feeling as though there's something missing in your life. There could be, you could be caught up with wishful thinking instead of taking some positive steps. Remember that in order to see change, you've got to pay attention to what is happening. You have to have a structured plan, and you have to make a consistent effort. You cannot get caught up in this negativity and drama. You have to be very clear, but also some flexibility might be required of you as you move forward in your space. So let me draw some cards now from Sacred Traveler to get some more clarity here for you, Capricorn. Let's see, what does the Sacred Traveler have to say for you, Capricorn, and this path that you are on. So, Capricorn. Sometimes we become our own worst enemies, Capricorn, getting stuck in our head and getting stuck in drama. You need to realize that, yes, you have to take shelter within yourself and find those answers. You need to have the clarity of thought, because you know what it is that you need to do. Sometimes you could be not wanting to take those decisions, and therefore you are feeling very confused. You're feeling anxious. You're creating monsters where there are none, because you need to face the truth within yourself. Bring light into the darkest areas of your mind. See what is going on, what is thinking, what are you thinking, what are your solutions. Remember that you are called to be a leader. Whether you are leading a community, whether you're leading your family, whether you are in outside of your comfort zone, we are leaders. If you have others that are relying on you and that you are responsible for, you are a leader to them, and you need to be able to lead with dignity and with grace and have a vision for the future of where it is that you need to be. And by doing this, what you will realize a transformation, having a fresh new way of living, having new vibration, looking for these answers within yourself, finding this peace within yourself, be realizing that you have the ability to lead, to move forward. Now, this is important that you do all of this, Capricorn, that you recognize yourself for who you are and for where it is that you need to be. Forgive yourself. That's important, that you forgive yourself. Okay, let me draw a card, a grounding message here for you from Starseed Oracle. See what is the message for you here. Capricorn, Starseed Oracles. Let's see, what do they have to say for you? Starseed Oracle. Okay, getting this. Got this card, jump in. Say yes to change. How many of us can actually jump into a situation and actually say yes to change? How many of us allow ourselves to get caught up in guilty thinking and getting caught up in stuff and saying that we cannot change? How many of us do that? We all do that. We're all guilty of that. Therefore, you need to create this calm within yourself. You need to create this flow within yourself, and you need to follow the flow. Don't get caught up in the chaos. Some of you are very caught up in the chaos. You're swimming against the tide. You're going against everybody and everything. Instead of just diving in and saying yes and taking your opportunities, setting goals for yourself and working towards these goals, and realizing that you need to stop stalling. You really need to stop stalling, Capricorn, and you need to take that deep breath and just jump in. Really just jump in and say yes to change. You need to be courageous. You need to face the things that you're facing and look at what it is that you need to change. You need to put yourself in the right direction. Sometimes all you need to do is just take that leap of faith, and trust that the details will get sorted out in time. Trust that you will be able to come out on the other side. And you just need to be able to start living. Stop staying in fear. Transform yourself, Capricorn. It's important that this transformation, this is like a collective energy. This may relate to some of you Capricorns, but it may not. But some of you are going through this issue where a total change is required of you. So Capricorn, take a closer look here and see the figure diving in there. Dive into your life. Dive into the adventure of living. It's wonderful. It's literally you diving, and you can see this is an eye. If you look at it carefully, it's an eye. You can see so much if you can absorb so much more and dive into the things that you need to dive into. So, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Remember, as always, please subscribe to my channel and share my videos. I do appreciate those of you who have already subscribed. Thank you and take care until next time, Capricorn.